Yo guys, how's everyone doing? This is your guy Assassin Dave. Welcome back to Team 4 and Famous Family again. Today we're gonna take a look at Onyx PH versus Onyx Indonesia. I think this is one of the really great comeback in the entire history of Mobile Legends M3. On the whole stage, this game got my heart pumping. I gotta say, first of all, you can see my camera is in the middle. We're gonna take a look at a Ben pick phase to see whose draft is better. Now, I play Mobile Legends mainly for fun, but I gotta say, Onyx PH got some sick, very impressive assassin players, okay? The Amon, the Lancelot, especially the Lancelot. The Amon used by Hatred, the Lancelot used by Kairi are just really good. I think some top-notch assassin plays that I've seen in the entire Mobile Legends landscape, in the pro scene. So really good. I think that's the reason why they're able to take it out. That's also the reason why they banned such a great counter to those two assassins. Phoveus. Obviously, you know, being a lot of dashing available on the team side of Onyx PH. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the rest side. In fact, let's just go to the end of the ban pick so we can see the whole draft. What surprised me and not surprised me is the Bane and the Aldos ban actually through this whole ban pick. Esmeralda and Yu Zhong are kind of given, you know, obviously. But Bane and Aldos, after recent changes, actually have surfaced to be some of the strongest attackers in the entire game. So I'm actually really excited to see them in the pro scene and getting recognized, getting banned this way. It's actually really exciting. We're going to see more and more heroes staging themselves on the M3, on the world stage, which is really cool. So let's take a look at the entire draft. We got a Lilia pick, and Lilia is going to the side lane. Now, most people would think Lilia going to the mid lane, and you have Amon going to the side lane. But we actually have a little bit of reverse. I think they picked Lilia just to counter Paquito, which is also a really smart choice because Paquito was early pick. And Paquito, I think, only really lose to mages. Some of the mages who can poke really well, who can zone really well. Maybe Lunox, maybe obviously Lilia, and then Lilia is the choice for Onyx PH, which is a really good choice turnout. And Tham was also really strong side lane that doesn't really lose to Ruby because both of them have a lot of regeneration. They fight back and forth. Ruby has really short cooldown and can regen off the minion waves, where Thamus can kind of do the same. Keep on throwing those sides, keep on doing a lot of damage. Alright guys, welcome to the game. You can see immediately right here in the laning situation, gonna be Thamus going against Ruby and Lilia going against Paquito, something that both teams expected, but right off the bat, the mid lane, already a lot of aggression there. Beatrix Mage is something that you don't really expect, but it's also a really smart choice because it does counter, not counter, but have a lot of lane pressure in the center position. I think they originally thought it's going to be a Lilia going mid, so you pick Beatrix to counter aggression with aggression, but it turned out to be an Amon mid lane. So Beatrix just obviously going to dominate even harder because, you know, the early game, especially with a Kufra in the front. But Amon quickly got the upper hand back. And then not only a little bit, quite a bit back, you know, with a little bit of poke. The thing about Amon is, Amon, if you give him a little bit of attack, Amon is going to continue to poke you, do quite a bit of damage. But at level 1, Amon doesn't have, like, only have one invis and have to get close up to you. And by the time you get close up, you know, you have, obviously, Beatrix can do insane amount of early game damage. So right off the bat, we're going to see a lot of aggression coming from PH side. I gotta say, man, both teams played really well this match when I first watched it. It's just that, what a turnaround. A little bit of misplay from PH, which we'll cover throughout the whole game. But early game is going to be pretty peaceful. And Onyx Indonesia looking to jump in here, secure a turtle. Didn't happen. This is really up in the air. Like I said, both teams are really skilled. And then this is a complete 50-50. With Lancelot, skill 2 Retribution was not able to get it. Whoo! And then you can see the sense on the Nathan went in with a skill 1 combo. Skill 2, 1-2 was Retribution, did not get it. Rafaela got it. That just showed you that there was purely 50-50. It was up in the air. Both teams, even the Onyx PH seemed like they were ahead early game, but their skill level was just kind of the same, you know? Both teams want to take it careful. Lancelot obviously have the upper hand with a skill 2 and a Retribution, but he also want to make sure, like, he secures it, so pulling the turtle towards the side. A great job though from Rafaela to, I mean, it's luck, but still great job. So over here you can see Rafaela overstepped her welcome just a little bit and surely get punished. And I like the fact that they're actually running a ADC in the mid lane. This is also really smart from Onyx Indonesia because they try to balance the damage. You don't want to have that much magic damage. You want to have, like, mostly, speaking of damage right here, Amon jumps in. But a beautiful stun right here. Sense will get taken low, very low, and survived. Coming back to our analyzing, I think both teams are just really, really even. Their damage type are pretty even too. You can see from Onyx side, 2 assassins. And then one's physical, one's magical. From Onyx Indonesia, one's physical, one's magical, but the 2 marksmen, right? So it's just, both teams are playing really smart. They're neutralizing, they're balancing their damage type, making sure they don't have a lot of too much magic, make sure they don't have too much physical all at the same time. It's a balance deal. So it's really, really smart what they're doing here on both teams' side. I think that's also why this game is so enjoyable to watch, because you're not going to see that much of a draft difference. Khufra does counter Lancelot quite a bit, but Lancelot's overall just played so well this game. You know, knowing that he get a counter from Khufra and is still able to perform and get a lot of kills, you will see him start dashing around like a madman. Show you how much games he had on Lancelot. Personally, I like Hayabusa a lot more, but obviously Hayabusa being the center of the attention will be banned most of the time. So, I mean, everybody knows Hayabusa is the tier S assassin here. Onyx PH, oh, the ultimate jumps in. Skill 1, dashing one more time. Look at those mechanics on Kairi, right? He had a pathing in mind. Like a lot of time when you play Lancelot and are really, really comfortable, you just have to be like planning ahead. And planning really fast, that's on top of it. You gotta look ahead, right? You have to see, like spot an opportunity and just go for it. And that's exactly what this Lancelot provided, which is, again, really impressive to see. Because this type of games, oh, look at that Lancelot jumping in with an ultimate, chasing the Khufra right here. And then skillfully dash behind Drian on the Beatrix and able to secure another kill. And this is going to be easy triple kill right here for Lancelot. So overall, again, you can see the mechanic and Onyx PH already dominating right off the bat. Sens did end up, clearing the way over here, obviously securing a mid-tier 1 tower, which is very, very important. Popped the ultimate back to make sure that he didn't get invaded on. So again, you can see the mechanic here from both sides. They play really well. Onyx PH not snowballed, but increasingly slowly but steadily. Where Onyx Esports or Onyx Indonesia, their comp just wasn't the best going against 2 assassin comp in early game, right? Lancelot's really, really powerful in mid game when Lancelot gets some items. The hook comes in, and then obviously Amon just being Amon. You can one-shot anyone in early game. Oh, beautiful ultimate from Sens here to jump himself to safety, even though they didn't get a turtle. Kairi did secure a turtle right here. Kairi overall, man, this game, like, they're able to dash so well. Let's take a look at these items right here. I like this item display. Let me see a power spike. Yep, Lancelot already have very, very key items. Ooh, pure penetration. He has armor boots and he's going for War Axe and he's going for Malefic Roar. Just pure armor penetration right here. He's going for straight burst. I like that. You will see from the team Onyx Indonesia, they don't. I mean, let's go back to take a look at item. I think everybody has armor boots right off the bat. If not, yeah. So you get armor boots on Adrian, you got armor boots obviously on Ruby, and you got magic defense boots. But Khufra already have the plate, right? The breastplate, which is really, really strong early game, and then you have. Yeah, not too many people have that much armor, but you already have a Lancelot sitting at a lot of gold, and he decided to go full penetration. I think that's a little bit too early. Maybe you're just playing long term. Just get it done so you don't have to get it anymore. Still, like, I think maybe Blade of Despair will be a great item, to be honest. Go for pure damage if you're that far ahead. Or building, like, let's say, Endless Battle, give you a lot more pure damage, will be a great item. Oh, look at this team fight one more time. Khufra did miss the engage, but a double assassin with a Rafaela positioning. I gotta say, look at this team fight right here. Guys, before the team fight started, look at Rafaela positioning on the minimap. It's just very, very beautifully executed from Onyx PH, right? They understand that Onyx Indonesia is gonna rotate to the top side because they're going to get a tower on the bottom lane. So Rafaela decided to hide over here, which is a great play, right? Because this position right here give you a lot of vision towards the turtle side, towards the rotation, kind of give you an idea who's coming, where they are, exactly a relative position on the entire team. Meaning you're only going to have one person, Paquito, defending. So because of Rafaela's positioning, the vision provided on this Rafaela alone, they know Khufra is coming, they know Lancelot's right here, not Lancelot, Nathan's right here. Amon and Lancelot is able to jump on this Nathan, immediately just burst this guy down. And then, again, it's just a beautiful play over here. So kudos to Onyx PH, on a support positioning. Belois guy, Rafaela has been very, very patient this entire game. The ultimate has been pretty good, landing on point. Just a very decent player. I gotta say, both support on both sides, on PH and Indonesia side, are just played phenomenal today. Look at his Lord play. You know, obviously, Onyx didn't know the Lord had been taken down. Ruby is already stepping in, getting the vision right here. And you can see he hooked the Lancelot, and Amon is able to secure the Lord. And that's something that you don't see. And immediately, right off the bat, Nathan comes in, secure the shutdown right here. But Amon, look at Amon's position. He jumps, he got pushed back. But that's just like, this is why this hero is so brain dead. Like, everybody can play it. You know, even if you don't play Mobile Legends, I think you can play it. Like, it doesn't really require any mechanics. How does that require mechanics? I guess it requires your understanding on when to go in, to be honest. But look at Amon, standing on the side, getting a camouflage, right? Like, Onyx knows he's coming, and he pushed him away and doing damage on the side. But all he needed to press one button. Like, this guy literally pressed one ultimate, and both people died. Like, that's a little bit too much, given that he was already throwing quite a bit of skill ahead of time. So there were quite a bit of feather here to lay out the ground. So you can see that a lot of feather on the ground for Hatred to come in and to secure that. And that was because of the Lord fight. You know, Amon was able to, like, look, the entire fight, they got the Lord, and Hatred just ran out with the camouflage, right? And stay on the side, there are a lot of feather on the ground, and then he just, like, get one more camouflage, come back in, and one ultimate, everybody died. I guess that's also something that players have to pay attention to. Like, don't fight when you have a lot of, like, feather under your feet. Right? If you see like Amon spreading a lot of feather on the ground by fighting a jungle creep or whatnot, don't fight over there on Amon, because he's gonna one shot you with ultimate. So over here, beautiful ultimate from Ruby. What he did not expect is this turnaround is a little bit unexpected, to be honest. Onyx PH just secured a Lord, but what happened was the Lord push was not well organized, I would say. So he didn't get too much. You can use that Lord to actually secure. If you manage to wave properly, Onyx PH can easily get the mid tier 2 tower, which will help them tremendously. But because of the lead that they have, they're able to get the kill. Still, it's a trade though, and then trade is never good when you're in lead, right? When you're in lead, especially after you get Lord, especially after that kind of team fight, you know, where Amon got a triple kill, this is where Onyx's first mistake comes in, Onyx PH. You know, they could have managed a wave to get all the outer turrets, right? Because that's literally what Lord is for, right? To push outer turrets, the early Lords. They waste the opportunity on the bottom side. We see people flashing and then recoil effects. It's not something that I would ever do, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't recommend my player to ever do that. I think if I coach a team, like, I would just recommend players like stand still in the bush and just think. Use that time to actually think. The time you're flashing, what you're doing is you're thinking about what your enemy is thinking. And that's never good. You know, like, when you're wasting your mental energy, we're limited amount of mental energy to do that. It really started creating a lot of mistakes because like, think about psychologically speaking, why do players do that, right? Because they try to get a reaction out of the enemy team, like, oh, I'm flexing in front of you, you know, so they try to make the enemy feel bad. Now, how do you know the enemies are feeling bad? You're expecting a reaction, you're expecting a response, and while you're doing that, your entire mental energy drained. You know, that's why in my tournaments I hosted, community tournaments, I banned people from spamming that kind of stuff. You know, that's, in my opinion, as BMs. If you just stay calm, take deep breath, and then think about your next plan. Okay, after we kind of failed our early Lords, right? After all this advantage that we have, after sitting at 7,000 gold advantage, we got a Lord, and yet there's still a high ground tower standing. How did that happen? You know, we have 2 assassins. How did that happen? You know, so like, that's something Onyx should think about instead of like doing BM. So I never liked that, but obviously they didn't do that much because they're both Onyx. So, and now to secure the enhanced Lord at 14 minutes. This is a Lord that Onyx PH, they could take advantage of, and given that Lord comes in really early. However, the entire map is cleared. They have the opportunity to manage the wave. They need to send 1 people top, 1 people bottom right now, 3 people mid to protect the minion wave. That's exactly what they need to do. But that's not what happened, because this Lord is one of the unlucky Lord for the Onyx PH, because come out immediately after the slain the Lord. So you can see right here, Lord goes in, but because there's only 1 wave crashed, Onyx Indonesia is able to easily send 5 people to defend top. So again, Onyx PH did not handle this Lord properly. So let's go back and take a look at the minion wave. 3-4 people in the middle. Forget about bottom lane, right? Because this lane was slow push, and let a slow push. But top and mid, you need to have all your resources. 1 people go top, clear that, let it push in, and then everybody immediately goes down mid. Lord is gonna push down top lane. 5 people, make sure the Lord get to this area, shove mid, shove top, and run it down. Run it down mid tier 2, break the last remaining outer tower, and then the Lord is gonna crash their high ground. And then you can then, the next waves come in, you can then decide, okay, do I have enough HP to keep on calling the Lord? We waste their skill, maybe let's 5-man bottom. All that strategy you can do. You can see right here, what they could have done is easily shove the mid lane and send this wave in at a tier 2. And then when Lord crashed to the high ground tower here, they could have taken the tier 2 and they have a minion wave come in the middle lane. Bottom lane, Paquito defended that. But top lane, they have the number advantage. That's the whole thing about Lord. Because people have to spend resources, in this case, the majority of resources to defend it. 4 people. But the bottom lane, they also make sure the wave doesn't come in. So they have to spare Paquito to defend bottom lane. Which means Paquito made it late to the team fight. But because Onyx PH didn't manage the minion wave, they didn't get too much benefits out of this because there was one wave coming in at a time. You know, there was not too much advantage. Akari didn't eventually get a tier 2 tower, but it's a little bit too late. So this is what I'm talking about. Like when you have the first Lord, they didn't handle well. The second Lord, they still didn't handle well. And this has always been a problem when I watch MPL, like last year. Last year, guys, like this is why like sometimes there were only 1 or 2 teams that I watched that I really enjoyed who didn't make this type of mistakes. Now, obviously regarding meta, I haven't played 5-man that much. That's why on a draft wise, I don't want to give too much expert opinion because I don't play that much 5-man now. Mobile Legends for me is more of a fun game. I enjoy watching the esports. I enjoy watching playing the game myself. I think that eventually I will just go to watch pro plays and then just analyze all those matches. I think those are fun to watch. Probably just analyze MPL. You know, the new angle for our channel instead of playing ourselves, because really playing the game by yourself in Mobile Legends is unplayable. The entire Onyx team just don't pay much attention to how to utilize Lord. Onyx PH could have ended the game or at least taken down 1 or 2 high ground towers to really solidify their map control, but instead they spend all their energy doing BMs, like doing recall like this, which doesn't make any sense. Doesn't really help them. Why are you there? Why are you there doing recall? You could have sit your ass in the bush and start using that energy to actually plan, analyze, instead of put yourself in such a bad position. And sure enough, you know, look at this play right here. You have CW going in suicide. I wouldn't say that's a really bad suicide because he obviously just doesn't know. Like if you look at his position, he was hiding here in that bush. Like when I watched this, he was hiding in this bush. He saw the Lilia, he saw the Rafaela. He didn't know where Thamus and Amon is. So this engage on the Squishy, I mean, he knows he can get out because it's just Rafaela and Lilia. So it's not the worst play, but it's just like the moment when he engaged, his team didn't follow up. That's number 1. So it's kind of sad. And number 2, Rafaela just used the ultimate to zone everybody away. So you got to isolate the Paquito in the front who got killed. But still, Onyx wasn't able to utilize that to get anything out of it. Only top tier high ground tower went down because of the mid-lane fight right here. But nothing else really opened up. And now all of a sudden, Onyx have to wait another minute and 10 seconds for Onyx Indonesia to catch up. And that's exactly what they did. Catch up they did, right? 9,000 gold deficit, doesn't matter. Because you're already sitting at 46,000 gold, and then Beatrix, Nathan are getting decently farmed, Paquito's getting decently farmed, Ruby's really farmed. Understand, every single time there's a fight in the river is a chance for you to make a mistake. Every single time you push an objective, there's a chance for you to make a mistake. That's why objective, every time you get it, you have to play them well. Because if you leave them up, you give yourself another chance to make a mistake. You give enemy team another chance to punish you for those mistakes, right? So that's what Onyx Indonesia did right here. Obviously, lanes are shoved, and Onyx being 2 assassins, guess what Assassin is really bad at? Doing objectives. Especially late game lords. Enhanced Lord at 18 minutes is really powerful. For assassins like Lancelot and Amon to do, it's really hard. It's not easy, okay? They take them forever. It probably doesn't take Nathan or Beatrix any HP. It doesn't even cost them HP to do it. But it will cost Lancelot and then Amon significant amount of HP to do it. I'm gonna pause it right here to give you guys a little screenshot. If Nathan and Beatrix, Drian, or Sense, whoever's doing this Lord, they will stay full HP while they're doing it. That's the power of marksman in late game, right? They will heal up because they do consistent damage. But look at Kyrie on this Lord. He is 1 HP. He's low, doing a Lord. He got one-on-one by a Lord, and there's no mechanic going against a Lord, right? Like, there's a very little mechanic considered, like, going against the computer. The reason why is because Lord is overpower any assassins late game. Assassins do not have the ability, except for Hayabusa, maybe. Hayabusa does a lot of consistent damage with the auto attacking and shurikens and stuff. Lancelot just don't do Lord. Lancelot is really, really bad at that. This is why they cannot screw up the Lord push, screw up the advantage they had. Every Lord that they screw up is a huge disadvantage for them going forward. And that's exactly what happened. Let's take a look at this team fight. Lancelot already got himself to 1 HP. He had to go back to kill some minions, heal up. So they have to drop the Lord. You know, and everybody just take the opportunity to reset, you know, get all the minion waves pushed. Julian went back, recalled, top side, cleared a wave, and then quickly come back, you know, get another wave. So now the minion wave is actually pushing towards a favor for Onyx Indonesia because they know Onyx PH cannot do Lord roll fast. Like, think about this for a second. Julian went all the way to top lane, pushed 2 lanes, and yet Onyx PH still cannot do the Lord because they don't have the power to do it. But beautiful engagement from Rafaela, getting Ruby and Khufra. Remember, here I only said Khufra and Ruby, right? They didn't get anyone else. So Keyboy got taken like 40% health. Still pretty healthy for a tank, to be honest. Sans just made it to the team fight. All the damage from Amon, all the damage from Lancelot, the ultimate moves, all went to a tank and a fighter. If you can't kill the marksman, you're screwed as assassin comp. And that's exactly what happened to them. When Onyx Carry comes back, his immortality got instantly popped. The heal comes in, which gives him an illusion that he can do the Lord. At this HP line, Lancelot cannot do Lord real quick. Like, he just doesn't. Look at that damage, man. I mean, I guess they're hoping their front line can buy them a little bit more time, but little did they know. Hatred, look at this fight right here. Because they use auto damage on Ruby and Khufra, they don't have any damage to one-shot damage to kill the Nathan anymore. Like, imagine if this guy, he did not use the ultimate right here. Like, look, his ultimate did no damage. This Hatred over here is no feather, and he ulted, and he didn't have ult anymore, right? He ulted right here and did almost no damage, but they still killed Ruby with it because this cure is broken. If he saved that ultimate, and they didn't, like, they kind of engaged, did a lot of poke, that's good. But if Onyx PH didn't use all the skills on a tank and a fighter, Ruby, one of the tankiest person, they could have now engaged on Nathan. Kill Nathan, kill Beatrix, they win the game. But they did not do that. They used a skill on Ruby and Khufra, and they got screwed because they don't have the ability to do Lord. And they're still doing Lord. I gotta say, it's kind of close though. But even if they got that Lord, they would still lose the game. Because everybody, like, it won't change the results of Onyx Indonesia killing the entire team, wiping the floor, or leaving only Lilia alone. And then now even with the Lord coming in, they will still just kill the Lord really, really fast. You know, because there are no minion waves, so they will kill the Lord like right here at tier 2 tower. Even if Onyx PH got the Lord, like a best case scenario. So there's no reason for them. There are many misplays. Number 1 is forcing the Lord. Number 2 is using everything, the main reason using everything on a tank and attacker. Giving Onyx Indonesia the opportunity to come back. And it's one mistake. Game is over. He couldn't clear a wave. Look at the damage that Onyx Indonesia has at this point. So, great comeback, obviously, from Onyx Indonesia. But I gotta say, that's a lot of mistake from Onyx PH. Onyx PH did make it out of the group stage, though. Which, again, come to my point. If you're an Onyx coach, you really gotta train your team how to do the Lords. The early game advantage that you have, your win condition, right? Do not waste those ultimate moves on tank and fighter. You know, that's the stuff, mistakes that we saw in this game. So, sure enough, they got punished really well. If Onyx want to move further in the playoffs, hopefully they correct those mistakes. But obviously, we're going to follow those matches and see. With that, as Dave signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do you agree with me? Do not leave a comment down below. I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.